Hi guys. So today let me talk about something. I just thought about it, my experience or my encounter with an abandoned house. There was a time, there was a time I was looking for a house. Some years back, I don't want to mention the name of the estate and where I stayed. As we sometimes wake up sometimes and you go look for a house somewhere, you don't know where you get these houses and you don't know the kind of house that you meet and go stay in. So my encounter with an abandoned house, I went hunting for a house, searching for a house or looking for a house because I wanted to relocate from a point A to point B. So when I went, I looked for houses. As you all know, if you go looking for a house, you don't know which house you land to. Huh? But at least I found something that I liked. But the funny thing, when I talked to these agents, those are people who help people look for houses, they took me straight to that place, of which I was new in that environment. I didn't know what was happening in that environment at that particular time. So as you know, I was new from another estate to that estate. This thing happened like some few years back, just 3 to 4 years back. So I was innocent and naive. I went and they took me to that house. I paid them like 1,000 shillings and they took me to that house to go view. Because when they take you to those houses, you have to pay some money. So I paid 1,000. They took me there to go see the house and see if I like that house, so that if I like it, I can always move in. As you know, as usual, you like something, you take it. So I thought when they opened the door, I was a bit, the house was nice, clean, but there was one thing which was fishy in that apartment. It was a two-bedroom apartment. So, there's something you'll detect, but I didn't take it into consideration as much. So they opened the door, the house was clean, well painted, but at least there was a mark. The mark was the doors, you know, but I assumed. So I could check the handles of the doors, there were rusts. So I didn't bother because I was in desperation of moving out from that place I used to live to go to a new place. So I viewed the house, it was nice. So I had to go and pay via bank. They told me, go pay. This is our bank account number, just go pay. So I went and paid that house. After a few days, after 4 days like this, I moved in. But mark you, don't forget that there was a red flag somewhere. This house, I think it was abandoned, and it has been staying for quite a long time without nobody staying inside. So with the time, I noticed that this house was abandoned because somebody had died in that house. And they didn't tell me, because I moved from far away. I came, I looked for a house, I paid, and I decided to move in. So when I moved in, even by that time I was viewing the house, I saw the red flag. The handle of the rooms, how door rooms were kind of there, rusts. But I didn't bother so much. I said, sometimes, you can move into a house and you decide to change some things. So I said, okay, if it will be worse, I will change the handles so that they look neat. Because me, normally I like neat places. I like, if I stay somewhere, even if it's a small place, but it's good and clean and neat. So yes, I moved in. Paintings were good. I started the day I moved in. The very day I paid the house and I was allowed to move in. So I moved into that house. So the first time I moved into that house, I was very tired. I was very tired. So I just went straight and slept. I didn't cook. I just warmed some food and I just ate and I slept. Mark you, I slept very late because, you know, when you move to a different place to another place, sometimes you can sleep at around 2 late hours. So I felt so tired, and then I decided to go to bed. It was around 1, 2 there. So I went to sleep. The funny thing, when I went to that sleep in that house, I had a crazy sound of noise. Something just entered my room with a very heavy, it's like heavy, something heavy. Like, how can I explain it? It's like a wind which came very heavy, dark wind. And in that I could hear somebody just came and stood next to me. It just heavy. But when I looked, I see like it's a human being, form of a man. So I said, oh God, what is going on here? Then I said, Jesus, Jesus. I called the name of Jesus like 3 times. Jesus, Jesus. And I was heavy while I was calling the name of Jesus. And this man was dressed in black. So he was some kind of gentleman. So I said, okay, I will not bother. Maybe it's just these new houses, you can never tell. Maybe somebody just tried me. They wanted to know who is this person in this house. So maybe they just decided to try me. So when I called the name of Jesus 3 times, it disappeared. So being that I'm a prayerful person, those are the times I was going through my spiritual awakenings. I got up at around 3 o'clock, and I heard the voice, Rhoda, please kneel down and pray. Go down on your knees and pray. So I started praying, and I prayed, because I was new in that house, and the very day that thing happened, so I didn't want to pray noisy, like hard, with a loud voice, so that people could hear outside. So I prayed slowly, and I prayed. What I prayed, I will not tell you how I prayed, but I just went down on my knees, and I decided on my knees, and I prayed. So after prayer, I sat down and I went to my refrigerator. I took a very cold glass of water. Then I could hear voices telling me, now you're okay, just go back and sleep. So I went back and slept. So I slept very well until morning. So that thing didn't bother me so much. Because after that I slept very well. So I woke up, started arranging my house, since you've moved out from another place to a new place, now you have to arrange the house and make the place accept you and look good, the way the way you like your house to be looking. So I was kind of preparing my house. It took me like few days to do that. So yes, I did that peacefully. After 1 week, that thing never disturbed me, but the house was kind of cold. It was cold. I could put on heater every time I'm in that house. My heater was on. So that was unusual for me. Even you could see outside from the window, the sun is high. Even you go outside by your balcony, you find that the sun is really high, but inside your house is very cold. So this thing caught me, I had to think about that, because that is weird. The house is very cold 24 hours. So my heater was all the time on 24 hours when I'm in the house, unless I'm not in the house. So it went like that. I stayed for 1 month past, but sometimes I could hear strange movements in that house. But being I'm prayerful, because every day I could pray. I wake up in the morning at 3 o'clock. Sometimes I pray even 3 times in a day. So, my prayer is just random. Anytime I feel like something is pulling me to pray, I'm in the house, I just go on knees and pray. So, there was this one day I was just seated in that house peacefully watching TV in my sitting room. So, my kitchen was somewhere. So there was a window through to my kitchen. So I could hear noise. A daylight at around, daytime at around, it was at around 2. So I was just seated in my living room. I was watching some movie programs, some nice programs on telly. So I was just seated. So the house was quiet and I could hear only the sound of the TV. But at some point, I could hear some sound in the kitchen, which was irritative. Like somebody's opening my water. What? Water is opened, is running. And I could hear my gas smelling. And I'm like, what is going on here in this house? So I stopped my telly. I want to hear. Because me, there are some, I'm spiritual. There are things I can detect. But, you can't detect them so quickly, but you can detect them. It takes you time, but you'll detect. So I said, let me take time. I don't want to rush into conclusions. So let me take my time. So, the house, I could hear like water running in the tap. And Makio, I'm in the sitting room. I hear smell of food in the house. And Makio, I'm in this living room. And I could hear like my gas is on. And it's like somebody's cooking in the kitchen. And I was like, I was like, what? Is it really true? No. Let me stop the telly. So I walked. And when I went to the kitchen, there's nothing. And I'm like, what? Am I living with somebody here? So it went like that. It went like that. After a few months, like 6 months like this. So one day I went outside to go do some shopping. Then a certain gentleman called me and told me, hey, randomly, you just meet somebody, you went to buy some green vegetables somewhere, then you're walking past your house, you're walking on the streets and you just met somebody, then you started talking, just talking randomly. He was a nice person. He just started talking to me in a good heart. So this person told me, he said hi to me. Me, I'm not judgy. I don't like judging people. Anybody who comes to me with a clean heart, I will gas to you. We'll have conversation. We'll converse. So this man came to me and started talking to me. And we talked. And he told me, that place where you are staying, I've been seeing you in your balcony. But do you realize there was a time somebody died in that house? I was shocked, and it has been abandoned for quite a long time. Nobody stays in that house. So you're the first one who has gone to stay in that house since that person died in that house. God, I felt so like, God, yuck. I felt like, what? So these people, they just never mind about me. They never mind telling me about this house that somebody had died. They never mind. They didn't even care. So they just put me in this abandoned house where somebody had died in their bedroom and later taken to the mortuary and stayed there. The house was, hey, my God. So this person narrated to me everything, what went down and how they had to break the door, enter into that bedroom. And this man asked me, see, there's one door in that bedroom that is broken. I said, yes. And I've been wondering. It's like there was a shooting or there's a hole, like something. I said, yes. And that's my bedroom. Macu, that's where my bedroom is. That's where I sleep. I said that was the room where that man used to sleep. So even you went and slept in that room. I said, okay, you've told me the truth. Don't go far. Let me deal with my spiritual matter. Now this is spiritual. Now this war is spiritual. And I told this man, this gentleman, there are things I've been detecting in that house, but nobody wants to talk to me. Even the neighbors, they're just looking at me like, huh? But then nobody wants to even tell me anything. And they don't want to associate with me. So I said, okay, it is what it is. So at least God has, at the back of my mind, I had the institution. My instincts were very strong. Had already told me, Rhoda, this place is not for you. And this place is somewhere where something is wrong in this house. But I didn't want to believe it until a gentleman, somebody, met me and told me. So I said, I was right. Sometimes, in life, you can have intuition and they tell you spiritually, and they tell you about something, but you tend to ignore because you don't listen to them so well. So me, I think I ignored mine. I said, I don't care. I'm busy. I come back, I sleep. I don't care. I was just living in that 2-bedroom apartment alone, somewhere in Kilimani, alone. So I said, okay, it is what it is. So this man has told me the truth that I wanted to hear. Even the neighbors were just looking at me like, are you really a human being? You're staying here? How can you stay in this house? And we know what happened. And they can never, sometimes we have bad neighbors. They can never tell you. So the person who told me is just a stranger I met outside, somebody I didn't know. I told that person, thank you. So I went back. It was my war. I said, I will not tell you anything, but I've suspected. I've seen some red flag. So let me go back to my house. At least I've known. I will not fear. So I went back to my house, walking slowly. I entered my house, and the moment I entered my house, what I said is that I will not fear. God, you know the reason why you brought me in this house. This is my fight. I will fight it alone. Because the neighbors, they've decided not to tell me the truth. I've found it by myself. And I suspected it. My institutions were right. Somebody walking, opening the So I said, okay, this is my fight. I have to fight this fight alone. So I went in my house. I said, God, I will not give this devil a chance in this house. I just moved in. And the way my queue moving to a point A to point B is hard. It's not easy. So you see, I just moved in. So what will I do? Am I supposed to move out now immediately? I said, I will not move out. I will stay here even for 1 year, even for 1 year and a half, even 2 years, so that I rebuild myself. I get money so that I move out. So I said, okay, it is what it is. I'll deal with it the way it comes to me. So I started praying every day, every day, every day. But when you suspect, when you've known that it's like that, somebody died, I started talking to it. I started talking to that person because I said, God, I know we are 2 people here, plus you 3. We are 2 people, plus you, I know we are 3 people. This other person is hidden spiritually because he's dead, but spirits are everywhere. He's still roaming because he didn't die a natural death. So he died in this house. I know you. So from today, I know you are a man. We will stay in this house together. I will not chase you. Me, I never killed you. We will remain friends. You are allowed to cook in my kitchen, but not to mess up with me because I don't know you. I never killed you. I don't know you. Those were my talks. Every day, I woke up. I did that for 7 days. We will stay together because I don't know you. You are inside here, and you've shown me you are inside, and I know you are inside this house. So you're my brother. You will keep me. I will keep you. We will stay. I will not chase you. You're my friend. Guide me so that anything that happened here, I don't want to know. Protect me. So we became friends. So sometimes this gentleman could come and just sit at night. Maybe they've sent it to torment me. Spirit is crying, grooving over. Huh? He just comes. So now I started seeing him physically. He came. One day he came physically. A dark gentleman just came. And at my door, just stood at my door like this, with a black suit. I smiled and I said, okay, this is the man who died in this house. So I've talked to you. Now you've decided to come in a good heart, in peace, with a big smile. So he came in peace with a good smile. He never came the way he was being sent to torment me in this house. Huh? So he never came the way he used to come. So now he came with a good smile, a big smile, telling me, I will never disturb you again because you're my friend. Many people, nobody has ever stayed in this house. And I don't want anybody to stay in. Now he's talking to me. Until you know how to talk with the dead, they can never hurt you. They can never harm you. If you know how to talk with the dead, do you know how to talk to the dead or with the dead? They are human beings. They are not dead. They are dead physically, but spiritually they are awake. Their spirits are all over. So you command the talks, what you want, and it will happen. So I commanded my talks towards this gentleman. So one day he just appeared smiling to me in a good heart. And he told me, I will not disturb you. I see you have a big heart, but they've been sending me to you to torment you. So since this house, ever since I died, nobody has ever stayed in this house. So he's talking to me. This is my territory, but I will allow you to stay within my territory. But once you move out of this house, nobody will ever come back and stay in this territory. Because you know how to command me and talk to me. So you are my sister. In fact, I'll continue shower you with good blessings in this house. I will never disturb you. But sometimes, I have to cook in the kitchen. So I said, okay, you'll be allowed to cook in the kitchen. If you want to cook in the kitchen, you'll be allowed. Those are prayers that I took towards him, to God, and to converse with this spirit of dead person whom I found in this house. So instead, I lived in that house peacefully, and that's the house I used to have money. I never ran out of money. Blessings after blessings. I could get money randomly. I traveled a lot. I paid my tickets. So this house was full of blessings. I never lacked. But at first, it was chaotic. It was like this thing is turning to torment me, and I'm innocent. I talked to this spirit of a dead person. Innocently, I assumed that he's there with me. I told him, I don't know you. I'm innocent. Did you ever see this face around you? You used to live in this building. Did you ever see this face? I just came to stay. I was just brought up here. Even me, I'm innocent. I've been crying. Why did they bring me to this kind of a place? So now accept me in this place so that we stay together. I will not chase you away. But if you misbehave with me, I will force you to get out of my house. Stay in peace. We stay in this house in peace. So we will stay. I will respect you and respect my territory too. Do you know that's how this thing went? He never tormented me. I lived in that house for nearly 2 years until the time that I shifted out. After 2 years. It never came to me. It never bothered me. Although sometimes we could hear smell of a dead body, or sometimes the house could go quiet That one I know this one is somewhere around. But now what can I do? Now we are blending together. I don't know the person, but we are blending. So what he told me one day, because I was now planning to move out. He knew I was planning to move out. So one day when I was in a sleep, he came to me, opened the door, stood by the door, and told me, I can see now you want to leave me here alone. I said, yes, I want to leave you. I'm seeing we are conversing spiritually. People don't know me. So he's telling me now, I see you want to leave me here alone. I say, how did you know? Yes, I'm planning to move out, but I'm planning to move out. Now he's telling me, it's okay, but I'm not chasing you out away to move. Why don't you just stay? Because now you have become my friend. I told him, no, I have to leave. My time is, I've gotten another place, so I have to leave to another place, for a better place. You are dead. Me, I'm a human being. You are dead. It's only that I have my powers that I can command and talk to you. But I know you are dead physically. But me, I'm still alive. Let me go and stay somewhere else. Now he started crying. I could see this man weeping and crying. So I said, no, you will be fine. This is your territory. I'm not supposed to disturb you here. But in the other world, you are gone. You are dead. Physically, you are dead. Accept it. Me, I just came here. Now he started talking to me, telling me, you know, I'm not happy with my family. The people I call my family, they never buried me in a good way. That's why my spirit is still wavering in this house. They never wanted to know more about my death. That's why my spirit is still wavering in this place. So I said, oh, me, I don't want to know more. It's okay. But now we became friends for quite a while. It has reached a time that now even me, I want to leave you, my friend. I used to call him my brother friend. So that was the experience I had in Abandoned house. When you move into these houses, you can never tell. Nobody will tell you. Even the neighbors who stay there, they seem to know a lot of things, but they will never talk to you. So me, the funny thing I could see, these neighbors could look at me weirdly. Like, this lady, is she a human being or what? How can she stay in this house alone? She's just staying in this house. And I used to stay, wake up. I'm beautiful every day. I cook. I put my food in the refrigerator. I eat. There's nothing. I accepted it and I talked to it. Once you accept it and you accept it in a good way and you're spiritual and you know how to talk and converse to the dead, command them, nothing can ever happen to you. You will stay with them and they can never hurt you. Instead, they can bring you blessings, a lot and a lot of. So this abandoned house, sometimes people enter them without knowing. You just went looking for a house in an innocent way, but you end up finding yourself in a house where somebody died. So being that I'm spiritual, I could converse, I could control it, I could talk to him, I was all the time on my knees praying. At night pray, in the morning pray. During daytime I feel like praying, I was praying. So he came to me and told me, I can see you are very prayerful. So now you are my friend because you love praying. And me too, I used to love praying. That's how we became friends. And he never disturbed me until the day I moved out of that place. So sometimes I call myself very lucky. That is just like a testimony of what I have gone through. I went through in an abandoned house here in Klimani. It's not so even many years back, just a few years ago. And I stayed. Yes, I stayed. I stayed until the last time I moved out. And ever since I moved out from that house, my finances has been not good. But that house, I had, my finances was higher. And you know, when I was moving out, it was crying. The man was crying, telling me, this spiritual body was crying. Why are you moving out? Why don't you just stay here? Because you have my blessings in this house. And I said, no, I can't stay where I've already known that somebody had already died. You know, even if you are prayerful, but sometimes you just feel like, now let me leave this place. But ever since I moved that house, I've been going through financial problems. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So, yeah. So I went for cleansing, because now I had to cleanse my body, because I slept. I went and stayed in an abandoned house where people had abandoned, because they knew what had happened there, but they never wanted to tell me. So as a Christian and a spiritual person, once you find yourself in this kind of situation, what matters is your prayer. How strong are you in spirituality? Or how strong are you in Christianity? How often do you pray? How often do you pray? How do you believe in God? Sometimes I count myself very lucky, because what I've gone through in my life, sometimes they are very sad. I could sit down sometimes and cry. Why would these people give me a house which is abandoned to come and stay in it? And there are people whom I paid good money while I was looking for a house. The house is very good apartment. I know even at this particular moment, maybe somebody is living in and they don't know. Or maybe it's still abandoned ever since I walked out. Are you getting it? So it's good sometimes to be prayerful in these new houses we move into. Seek clarification, seek clarity, cleanse these houses, pray in these houses, so that whatever will happen there cannot follow you, or cannot disturb you, or will not, hinder you in any way. So, me, I could sleep in that house until I snow. I could sleep in that house until I snow. There's nothing I feared in that house. Only that sometimes there was a weird quietness and coldness that tells you that, But when it comes like that, you know what I do? I tell him, I command him, hey, I feel you now. You've started. Stop. I command with prayers. What do you want to do now? What do you want to do in this environment? What are you doing? I can feel you. No, you have the smell. I can smell you. What are you doing? And everything goes quiet, and at the same time, things just changes. That's when I came to realize that I can always command the spiritual people, these dead people, the spirits of death. That's how I knew. Then I can talk to them. Then there's something about me. I knew like that. Because I talked to this one until I made it cool down and never disturb me. And people told me when I moved out. So one day somebody told me, that house nobody has ever stayed. How come you are staying in that house? I told them, it's God. When you believe in God, people will test you in many ways. People can try you in many ways, but you'll always bypass them. I tell you, I knew I was dying in that house. The first night, what happened? It was horrible. So imagine, after that period of time, I went and stayed for quite a long time without any disturbance from anywhere. We were living, and that is where I got blessings. I could fly, I could travel a lot to different countries. In most of African countries, I traveled so many. I went to Rwanda. That period of time, I traveled a lot outside the country. Money was just flowing like this. After conversing to him nicely, in a good way, like a brother, I told him just, okay, I will not chase you out. But if you bring me chaos here, we will fight and I will throw you out. Because I know, you can't just talk when you don't have spiritual powers. Unless you have those powers, that's when you can command them. And they listen to you. Any ordinary person, I don't think there's somebody who has ever stayed in that house. I think it's still abandoned. Anyway, I don't know. But I know there are a lot of things I did in that house that now somebody can stay in that house. But I don't know whether somebody is staying because due to fear. Some people now fear because they knew what happened. So in this society we are living in, nobody will ever tell you the truth unless you know by yourself. People are not happy for others. Somebody just knows the truth about something, but they can never tell you. Because I've seen people complaining that these houses, you find that sometimes people died. Somebody committed suicide there. People were fighting, other party died. Somebody was shot there. Somebody was stabbed there and died. We just live in these houses. It's just you put God first. When you put God first, nothing will ever hinder you. So yes, with prayers, everything is possible. That's what I can leave you with. So for today, bye. Keep praying. That was my sad experience with abandoned house where I lived in Kilimani. So I wouldn't allow people to, please just tell people the truth. If this house, anything had happened badly, let people know. But sometimes people say it's not good to tell somebody because even them, they're making money. So they don't want to tell people. They want people to find for themselves. So they want new people to stay. And, if your hands were clean, you are never there. You never knew anything. I tell you, you'll be protected. Nothing can ever happen to you. Nothing will ever happen to you unless your hands were there. Me, my hands were clean. I was an innocent person from somewhere. I just came and looked for a house and I moved in. So that was the tough experience I had with the abandoned house. So I commanded the spirit of this abandoned gentleman that I found was dead here, had died here. The spirit was still hovering here. And nobody told me. So I knew by myself. So that is the experience I'd had with abandoned house. So it's not me, the first person to have such an experience. Many people have had this kind of experience with houses they go staying in. Sometimes somebody died, they were sick. These things happen. You don't know, you don't want to know what happened, but you have told somebody died there. You just, okay, it was an accident, death. Okay. Me, I didn't want to dwell on it and I didn't want to know what happened. What is this, what happened? And what I know, he came to me and spoke to me. I said, it's okay. Until I moved out. So prayers, keep praying. Me, I know I've gone through a lot of things, but with prayers, I've overpassed them. I've came out of them because of prayers. And it's not just prayers ile unaamkanga tu mara moja unaomba. Inakuanga random prayer. Daily prayer. And you pray. Hakuna mchezo. Kuishi na shetani sio rahisi. Piga yeye. Omba. Ongea na yeye. Ikibidi mnaongea vizuri. Mbembeleze. Mbembeleze yeye atakangi eti mnapigana sana. Kama unajua you are innocent, bembelezana na yeye. And things will be fine. So bye for today. Keep subscribing. Yes. I'll appreciate. Ciao, cheers. Until next time.